Throughout the New Testament, wherever there is any hunger or thirst, Jesus is there to satisfy those who are in need. He does not judge them for their condition, but instead immediately finds a way to bring comfort and love into their hard lives. As the followers of Jesus Christ, we too are called to satisfy the needs of people who face hunger and thirst. We too are called to search out the poor and find ways to make this world a better place for us all. 1 year ago, I stood in this pulpit for the first time, speaking of my hopes for our ministry together. Green as I could have been, I looked out into the congregation and wondered what our ministry together would look like. At that time, I was very unaware of the ministries that were already underway. I didn't quite understand our connection to Christian social services. I wasn't sure of the history of brown bags. I didn't even know that Becky was the founder of Yes of America. But over the past year, I slowly came to learn about the many ways that this congregation responds to the hunger and thirst in this world. I came to see the impact that this congregation has on the community in which we serve. And after much thought, I realized that almost everything we do for ministry relates perfectly to our gospel reading this morning. In one way or another, our ministry together is a feeding of the body, mind, and spirit of God's children. It seems to me that in one way or another, everything we do is about finding the need, the hunger, the thirst, and offering a way for the community to find the satisfaction that only God can bring. Personally, I have come to love the fact that we are a community that feels called to feed the bodies in the world that are in need. With this congregation as a founding member of Christian Social Services, I know that this concern for feeding the hungry, for offering the thirsty a drink of water, has always been important. You know, we send people in need to CSS constantly. This is a wonderful resource for us to share with those in our community that are in need. In the church office, we often have people call or stop in and ask for help. They need help with their electric bills. They need help with school supplies. They need help with simply putting some food in their cupboards. It's a humbling experience as a pastor to have people walk in off the street in need. And I will tell you, it is the most wonderful thing to be able to share with them that we have a ministry that we started called CSS that is there for them. Just up the road here, I send them, and I know that when they leave, that they will have grocery bags to fill their cars with. Because of this ministry that we helped create, because of this ministry that we support, when someone comes to this church, we don't turn them away, but instead connect them to a place that can truly help them. Like any good ministry, our ability to help the bodies of people needs to grow. And here today, we see how this is happening at this church. With this little food pantry, God is growing our outreach. Now, even when nobody is at the church, we have made sure that our guests have access to food and needed supplies. When they pull into our parking lot, sitting there for them is the food that they need, supplies that they can take home and feed their family with. Truth be told, in this wealthy neighborhood, you might be surprised by really how much food insecurity there is, by how much hunger and thirst hides in our gated communities. This little box offers a place for a needy mother to come and the protection of the dark to find food for her family. This is yet another way that we as Christ followers are trying to meet the needs of the community that God has put us in to serve. Well, feeding the body is important. It is not everything. We too are called as the church to help feed the minds of the people. We do so with the normal Sunday school and confirmation classes. We do so with Bible studies and the like. But this church is also a very unique place in the ways in which we feed the minds of our community. With only one other church in the entire synod, with as many synod parish deacons as we have, we are definitely answering the call to feed the minds of our community in magnificent ways. This congregation offers classes for Christian education that you can't just get anywhere else. Today, with 11 deacons in our congregation, we are still growing, with more people in deacon classes, learning things about the Bible that truly blow their minds. Just ask them about it sometime. I really am amazed by the people that we have in this community that have such a deep need to never stop learning about God's relationship with them. And we are all blessed to be a place where God trusts us with God's work to satisfy their curious minds. In the Spirit, this also is a part of us that continually finds itself hungry, thirsty, in need of satisfaction. This church, too, I have found, does a nice job of offering the means of grace, of proclaiming the good news of Jesus Christ, and being the means through which God meets God's people in baptism and Holy Communion. God has called us, and we have responded to satisfy the spiritual needs of the community. Over the past year, we have been honored to baptize 8 children, gathering them into the fold of Jesus Christ. My first year here, I too saw the wonderful ways in which we have walked with grieving families during funerals. We have been a place that offers the hope of the good news of Jesus Christ to many visitors of both baptisms and funerals. We are a place in this world where grace abounds, where the good news of Jesus Christ is shared with all those in need of it. It is an amazing honor to serve this community, in which we actually do follow Christ, and go out searching for the hungry and thirsty people of this world, and then finding ways to offer them satisfaction in their needs. I thank you for your support of our ministry together. I want to thank you for being who you are called to be, for serving our community in unique and wonderful ways. But I also can't stop here, because we have so much more that God is calling us to do. As I have learned, the best way to grow the ministry of any congregation is to find something that they already do well and help it grow. So I want to challenge us today in our ministry together this year to continue to grow our ministries of feeding the needs of the body, the mind, and the spirit of the people in this community that God has called us to serve. Throughout the New Testament, wherever there is any hunger or thirst, Jesus is there to satisfy those who are in need. As the church, we do this too. So I ask, how can we continue to serve Christ in our community and do it even better? No matter the answer, no matter who or how God calls us to serve next, I thank God that our ministry together continues. Amen.